deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? We're Sharper Typing in TNN Trap News Network. Back in this thing, like cook, cracking this thing. News you can use. Knowledge though you ain't finna get nobody's college though, big dog. Tap in with that tap in and make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap all the way in. You feel me? Hit that notification bell. Like, comment, subscribe for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Shocking Death Valley discovery. Underground giants, lost civilizations, ninjas or butterflies. I can see a ninja being a butterfly for sure. Let's get into this content. Without further ado, don'ts, man. More conspiracy theories. Y'all said y'all enjoyed them. Let me know what y'all think of these type of content, so we'll give y'all more if y'all fucking with it. And if you're not, just go watch something else. Either way it goes, we finna do this. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Damn.
Shout out to Mr. Mythos on YouTube. He does a really fun breakdown. I don't know how he does his research, because I tried to do my own independent research regarding this stuff. It's really hard to find. So he knows
some peeps.
I don't know what he does. He probably goes to an actual library and does research.
Like in the movies?
Yeah.
Like when people used to go to libraries for research?
Yeah.
That's insane.
But so these two guys, Dr. Bruce Russell and Dr. Daniel Bouvet.
Bouvet Island.
They're these two amateur archaeologists, and they heard these legends from the I believe they're Paiute. Let's see, where were they? The Shoshone and the Paiute, regarding this ancient underground city in Death Valley where giants used to roam, and that they have these crazy technologically advanced things. And so these two dudes, Dr. Bruce and Dr. Dan.
Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that giants once existed? I do. I think that some of the mountains that we have are like the bones and the remains of like giant animals and giant people and all that. I don't think every mountain is a mountain. I think some of the mountains is the carcasses and the bones of giants and all kind of stuff like that. And we think that they mountains because over so much time, brush and grass and all that kind of stuff has grown over it and all that kind of stuff, with decay and fossilization and blah, blah, blah. But I digress. That's just what I think. You feel me? That's just what I think. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Daniel, they were just exploring all through Death Valley, and they found this really, really small opening of a cave, and they dug it out and saw that it led to a bigger opening.
Ew.
And so they went down in, and they reported as soon as they entered the bigger part of the cave, they said it was polished stone, like it was clearly a room.
Yeah.
And they said it was just like, it was perfect. And then they saw that there's more and more caverns. And so they started exploring. And one of the first caverns that they found was, they call it the Hall of Giants. And it was basically these preserved mummies of these giants. They said ranging from I think they said 8 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Dang.
And he said there's just hundreds of them, just preserved, like these mummies.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the heck?
That's so scary.
And then they went into another room, and they found these very old-looking hieroglyphics carved on the walls that they said that they weren't Egyptian, but they looked like Egyptian. But they said a lot of them looked like Freemasonry symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Like pictographs.
Yeah, just weird stuff. And then another room that they went into apparently had these preserved, mummified, extinct animals. So they had dinosaurs in it, saber-toothed tigers, mammoths, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And
it kind of makes sense for people to be that big. So you mean to tell me that at once upon a time there was a giant saber-toothed tiger running around, but it's no giant person? You feel me? Like, I feel like that all kind of coincides with one another. Like, giants, big animals. So we have things like woolly mammoth, and now, we have as much smaller what we know today as an elephant. But there was no such thing as a giant and what we now know as smaller individuals as humans. I don't know, bro. Like, it just one really don't make sense without the other.
immediately all right.
Yeah, that seems strange.
But it gets crazier. So this is in the 1930s. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Okay, 1930s. That's when they found it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they speculated that this cave system was over 80,000 years old. That's just what they came up with. I don't know how they got that number, but that's what they came up with. But they said that they explored it for a total of 15 years. Didn't want to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, fair. Don't tell the Smithsonian.
Yeah, because I would say this, before this, that's when the Lovelock Cave thing happened. Which was, I believe, 1915 or something, or early 1900s.
Yeah, they were smarter this time.
And they knew about the incident of Lovelock Cave.
Yeah.
What's the incident of Lovelock Cave? Hold on, let me see this real quick. 'Cause I don't even know what Lovelock Cave is. We're gonna find out together. Yes, little buddy.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. Again, you passed 2 bathrooms to go to that one, but go. Do your business. Hold on. That little boy walked past 2 bathrooms to come into this bathroom. I don't know why he does that. Hold on. What is the incident of Lovelock Cave?
The incident of Lovelock Cave refers to an archaeological discovery in Nevada, where a large number of ancient artifacts and human remains were found. According to local legends and some early 20th century accounts, a group of red-haired giants known as the Ka were said to have inhabited the area and were eventually driven into the cave by the Paiute people. The story goes that the Paiute set a fire at the cave entrance to force the giants out or kill them inside. While the legend is debated, the cave did yield significant archaeological finds, including duck decoys, baskets, and tools that date back thousands of years. It remains a fascinating blend of myth and historical archaeology.
All right, so that's that. Let's get back into this.
I'm assuming. I don't know that for sure, but I think that was probably pretty big news. But yeah, so they explored it for over 15 years, and they documented this underground city was 180 square miles.
Oh my gosh.
So they said that it went under Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico. Like it just.
That's not a city. That's a world.
Yeah.
That's a whole like Arizona, Nevada, like nigga. It's damn near.
I mean-
that's bigger than some countries.
Dude, that's insane. If that's, dude, the cave system, bro.
I
Yeah.
know, dude.
But apparently they got to a point to where they're like, we can't just keep exploring this and not
Tell people.
tell people, or because we don't have any money left.
Yeah,
Like
we
we
need
need to make a
resources.
profit. So they got all these investors together, and they wanted to start a company called Amazing
you.
Explorations. And so they got all these people to start investing. And apparently they took a group of these people because they're like, well, we're not going to invest if you guys are just pulling our leg.
Right.
The story goes, this is what Mr. Mythos talks about this happened. I
Yeah.
couldn't find this part, but he said that he brought these investors, or a group of them, to the caves to see it, and they all saw it. And they're like, whoa, what the heck?
What the
This is
heck?
insane. But it was very secretive. So like only Dr. Russell, he's the only one that knew the exact entrance of this cave.
Yeah.
Which I thought was confusing of like why Dr. Bruce didn't know about it, Dr. Bruce Russell, but apparently only
Trying to
Dr.
keep it on the
Daniel
DL.
Bouvet knew about it. And so they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna invest, we're gonna start this thing, and so like an article came out in, when was it? The 1950s, I believe, talking about Dr. Bouvet and this underground labyrinth, ancient giants, all this stuff. And shortly after that, article came out. What was it? Let me see where it was. Artifacts. Oh yeah, he said, I'm gonna do a press conference, and I'm going to bring artifacts from the cave to this press conference, and we're gonna expose the whole thing.
Yeah.
And apparently somehow the Smithsonian got involved in this too, or they got wind of it because of this article. And Dr. Bouvet, Dr. Russell, he's the one that knew about the thing the whole time. Dr. Russell, on his way out to collect those artifacts, disappeared.
Oh boy.
And he was gone. And so they did a search party, and the search party took forever because Death Valley is huge and it's uninhabitable, really, because
It's super uninhabitable. Like nobody's actually living in Death Valley. People might visit and pass through, but nobody's actually living in Death Valley day in and day out.
it's so hot and it's just a desert. They found his car.
Mm.
It was abandoned.
Smart.
He had a suitcase in it full of clothes, and he was just gone. And they never found him. He was gone forever. And that was the end of the cave because no one else knew the entrance.
Oh, come on.
So all these investors pulled out. But what I thought was insane.
Nobody's like, are you serious?
Oh, he just went on vacation and never told us? Oh, this is a bummer. Guess we should forget about it.
So, but 5 years before Russell disappeared.
Yeah.
So they explored this cave. They were making documents about it, making moves. 5 years before he disappeared, the U.S. government took over that same territory where the entrance was, and it's called today the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station.
Okay.
And it's off limits to civilians.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Naval station. Of course.
Convenient.
Territory where the entrance was, and it's called today the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station.
The China Lake Naval Air. First of all, naval is water. Naval air weapons in the desert. That don't even make sense.
Okay.
And it's off limits to civilians.
Yeah.
Convenient.
And it occupies 1 million square miles to test classified weapons and technologies.
Yeah, okay.
1 million square miles.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had that in it.
But yeah, so it's a pretty weird coincidence, right? Like
Yeah.
supposedly the Shoshone and Paiute talk about this inner earth place
Yeah.
where they had this technology from ancient times that like surpassed our technology. Giants, which why is the government always involved in the story of giants?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the US government's like, we're actually gonna take this land that is actually belongs to the Shoshone and the Paiute.
Yeah,
And
typical.
like, we're gonna take 1 million square miles off limits to civilians because we're doing technology stuff and like classified weapons stuff. And it's like, this is crazy. And then I'm like, I want to know.
This is crazy. Can you imagine how many things the government is hiding from us? We already know that the government will flood like entire black cities and kind of stuff like that. Again, look up Oscarville, Georgia. That's now Lake Lanier. That's a lot. And then like why hide the existence of giants? Like why don't they want us to know about the giants and the technology that the giants had? It's interesting.
More about Dr. Russell and
Yeah.
Dr. Bouvet. They said that there is like no record of them.
Oh my god.
Dude, it was so easy to erase people back then.
I know.
But you can go back and look at the article that came out, the investors that talked to them. But if you look up their backgrounds, anything, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
And everyone who witnessed it is dead.
Yeah.
Dang it, dude.
And I'm like, well, what were they doctors in?
Yeah.
And I was like, we're not sure. We think that Dr. Russell was a physician in Ohio, but there's not a lot of records that show that he was.
There had to have
That's
been.
crazy.
Golly, dude.
Ninjas are butterfly.
All right, man. So we up out here to the next one. Y'all know the deal. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Be better today than what you were yesterday. Be better tomorrow. But today, be at your best. Free Avenue Angel. So he's free. We got.